Hello everyone, Tired Gamer Dad here, and today's video we're going to be ranking the 4 new games that have been added to Fall Guys for their Season 2 expansion. I'm going to be listing them from the worst to the best and giving my feedback on it, but of course I'd like to hear yours as well, so if you have any opinions on it, drop a comment in the comments section below, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to be notified when I post more videos. Alright, here we go. Number 4, Egg Siege. So, Egg Siege is like an evolved version of Egg Scramble, but they take everything that I loathe and detest about Egg Scramble and make it worse. The best strategy that I can recommend to always qualify at Egg Scramble, or Egg Siege rather, is to not be the team that the other two teams decide that they want to lose. It's just that simple. The first 30 seconds of the game it decides everything, at least from what I have seen. I have over 24 different games in Egg Siege, and every single one of them has ended in at least a 6-point difference between the last place team and the next to last place team, meaning that even if you swiped a golden egg right at the very end of the game, it still wouldn't force overtime or clutch a win. It is incredibly difficult to deal with. I'm just not a huge fan of Egg Siege because it basically boils down to feeling bad if you're the team that everybody else wants to single out as the team that will lose. And again, the first 30 seconds will determine the entirety of the game, in my opinion, and it's just not a very fun game. It's a team game that's there strictly to get some of the more skilled players, I think, just out of it because of poor team cooperation. And while I have my reserved opinions on a lot of team games, this one takes the cake as just the absolute worst, in my opinion. Number 3, Hoopsy Legends. Hoopsy Legends is a single-player style version of Hoopsy Daisy, which is the team-based jump-through-the-hoops game. For Hoopsy Legends, however, the object is you need to jump through 6 rings to get 6 points and qualify automatically. It has a set limit of how many people can qualify in a round, and it incorporates a lot of those pushing and pulling of various boxes and ramps to help reach those difficult and hard-to-reach rings. This is a nice little example of cooperation meets betrayal, and I am all for that kind of mechanic. However, I also feel that the spawning of gold rings right at the start of the game is a bit much. I think it's a little unfair, and it makes it a little bit easier if you just get lucky with a proper spawn in the right position. I don't necessarily dislike the idea of having gold rings spawn in the game, but have it spawn towards the end, or like after a certain amount of time. Give the people who have the skills to platform and jump through rings and make the appropriate long-range dives, get them to qualify first, and then maybe when there's like half of the qualifying spots left, start incorporating a gold ring here, a gold ring there, generally in some hard to reach areas, so that you have to either make the decision of, do I want to get some easier rings, or do I want to take the time to really, build a box and push it along and get a ramp in place to be able to dive through when everybody else is doing the exact same thing. I think that would make it a little bit more fun. It's not a bad game by any sense. I do enjoy playing Hoopsy Legends. It's just one of those things where I feel like luck is more rewarded than skill in this particular instance. Number 2, Night Fever. Night Fever, Night Fever. Night Fever is the brand new gauntlet race that they've introduced in Fall Guys Season 2, and actually it's a really fun, enjoyable experience. There's a lot of very high skill style obstacles in your way, along with some pretty basic dump and dive kind of moments, like with the spinning axes and the purple goo. That's pretty easy to get around. The new addition, Thick Bunkus, the big spiked rollers that sway back and forth, is incredibly difficult to pass through, and it's not always the easiest, especially when you have a lot of people trying to cross at the same time. So it's a good blend of high skill meets also keeping your head on a swivel and seeing where everybody else is and what they're trying to do at the same time. So you make them go up and be the sacrificial lambs. Do you try to take the lead and try to outrace Bonkus as it swings back from the other way? It's a nice little skill there. Every single time I've played Night Fever, it's never been a guaranteed win, especially with the spiked rollers that you have to run across. It's a 3-lane and then a 2-lane log, so you're running along a log, which is great for gravity. But these purple spikes come up and in a clockwise or counterclockwise pattern, and you have to try to avoid them because they will bounce you clean off of the log. And it's another example of when everybody's trying to go all at once. If you try to join them, you're probably all going to wind up into the abyss and having to start over. It's also, you have to clear both sets of those spiked obstacles, because if you fall at any point, you start all the way at the back and you have to restart all over again. I feel that that particular obstacle segment is the hardest one and the one that trips up a lot of players from qualifying. The only real recommendation I have with the game is the very last obstacle. They're just these very slow-moving drawbridges. It's very easy to time, and it's just kind of ho-hum, brain dead as you're trying to run and do a simple bunny hop to get over it. I wish they would just go maybe a little bit faster, or maybe in different orders like Gate Crash does, and I think that would round out and make it a very solid gauntlet race. But it is definitely one of my favorite races in all of Fall Guys. It's definitely probably my top 2, maybe 3 favorite gauntlet races in the game right now. And number 1, we have ourselves a doozy, Wall Guys. Wall Guys is just unique. It is just the neatest, coolest style mechanic that blends in betrayal with cooperation. So here's the thing. With Wall Guys, you have these very high siege-style walls that you have to climb over in rapid succession. There's 4 walls, I believe, in a row, each one a little bit higher up. So you have to jump on a few more boxes or platforms to get to the top of the wall. That being said, these platforms and boxes can be pushed and shoved around the board, so players can cooperate together to shove people out, away from a wall. They can shove them towards it, and they all try to mad scramble to get up on top of the wall all at the same time. And it's just a straight up fun and chaotic free-for-all from beginning to end. Now, the only real thing I have to say about Wall Guys that I wish they would kind of tighten up a bit is the climbing and clutching to the ledge mechanic. It is kind of janky, especially when you have several beans jumping at the same time. Sometimes I found myself clinging to the top of a wall only for somebody else to jump, and it just knocks me off, and he's clinging now. So I'm not sure how that necessarily works. But I think that needs a little bit more polish before it's, consistent. But then it'll also reward those jump, dive, clutch plays that you see from time to time. And it'll be a little bit more consistent. But aside from that, it's definitely my favorite game, bar none, from Season 2. And it's actually one of my favorite games in all of Fall Guys, period. But that's just my opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion. As I said at the beginning of the video, drop a comment in the comments section below with what your favorite Season 2 additions to what Fall Guys is. Also, if you like my video, don't forget to like and subscribe to be notified when I post more of these wonderful videos. And if you have a moment, I do all kinds of live streaming on Twitch. Follow me at Tired Gamer Dad. So until next time, I hope you have a great time running around with your beans, and I'll see you next time.